What's your tongue black?
You let Valentine gamble?
Remains. It's all true.
In the beginning of the story, we are shown Martin Tillman, who has been in prison in Vietnam for the past 3 years. This is no ordinary prisoner. Martin is not an ordinary prisoner, but a dangerous criminal who has fled from Britain, who came to Vietnam to escape. But soon the government here also caught him, and since then he has been in prison. Although the French government that had put him in jail, they have spent years leaving this country, but still some people were not ready to leave him. In 1954, Vietnam liberated itself, after which all the French had to leave the country. Although some French people are still present in Vietnam, who are hiding here and doing their illegal activities. The warden knows very well that Martin is a very good fighter, so he keeps making him fight with other fighters for his entertainment. Even today, Martin was being made to fight with another fighter. Welcome to the blood sport of the jungle. Both are brought in a mud pit, and then both show their hands open so that it can be confirmed that no one is cheating. After this, everyone starts firing their own bullets, and at the signal of the warden, a man starts firing bullets in the air and starts the fight. Both started kicking each other. Martin dropped him down with one kick, but he was also not a weak fighter. He got up again and kept attacking Martin. Steiner has been watching all this from a distance, and he knew that Martin would not win this fight. In the end, it happens exactly the same. Martin drops the other fighter in one punch. As soon as Martin wins, Steiner orders his most dangerous man to kill the one who lost this fight. The other fighter says that you promised me that if I fight this fight, you will let me go. But Rustic Neck told him that this fight was for your freedom, but you lost it. As soon as he heard this, the fighter attacked Rustic Neck, but Rustic Neck fought him and killed him. He looks at Martin, as if he is telling him that if he lost, his condition would be the same. After this, 2 guards take Martin back to his cell. But on the way, he looks at a girl named Isabel. Martin had seen Isabel many times before, but today when these guards try to misbehave with Isabel, Martin can't stop himself and beats him a lot. The guards also beat Martin hard, and one of them was about to shoot him. Then Martin reminds him that if you hit me, you will have to take my place. As soon as he hears this, the guard moves back, and Martin is again locked in his cell. The next day, Martin sees through the window that Isabel has brought flowers for the jail warden. And she does this every day, but Steiner always threw those flowers. When Isabel comes to Martin, Martin asks her why she brings flowers for that man every day. She doesn't know how bad a man he is. Isabel smiled and said that if you want, I can bring flowers for you too. You are a good person, you shouldn't be here. But Martin looks at her with hateful eyes and says that I don't want your flowers, go away from here. Isabel knew that this place had turned her into a stone heart. Still, she says with a slight smile that it's okay, but I'll come back tomorrow. Maybe you'll change your mind by then. Meanwhile, Steiner finds out that a British agent has come to meet him. One of his men, whose name was Boone, says that if you say, I'll put him in his place. But Steiner didn't want that because it could make matters worse. He says, send him in. British agent Harrison tells Steiner that I'm looking for Martin. I've heard that he's hiding somewhere here. He's a criminal who ran away from England, and the government has given him a reward. He has to appear in court, so you give him to me. But Steiner doesn't want that because Martin has become a money-making machine for him. Steiner benefits a lot from every fight. If Martin leaves, his business will suffer a heavy loss. So Steiner tells Harrison that there is no Martin here. You can go. Harrison tells him that more people like me will come from America soon. And you can't answer him every time. You're going to need me. So why don't we help each other? Steiner knew very well that he didn't have much time left in this place. So, the next day, Martin is brought to Steiner. He knew everything about Martin. He tried to kill his superior officer in England, for which he was sentenced to 3.5 years. But then he committed another murder and ran away from there and came to Vietnam. Steiner introduces him to his 3 most important men. The first was Rastignac, a killer who was once in the Special Forces of Spain. The second was Boone, who was a commander in the Vietnam Army. But he betrayed his own country. And together with the French army, he betrayed his own people. And the third was Amarillo, who was part of the French army. Stainer says that they were all criminals in their country. But today they are living a good life with me. You're going to be free in a few days. And I know you can't go back to your country like these people, because you're being investigated. So, it's better for you to work for me. This is the last place left for criminals like us to live. But we can work together. I can use your talent. And I'll make you so rich that you can start a new life in any country again. Martin does listen to him. But he refuses to work with them. And he says that I want to live my life in my own way. As soon as he heard this, Stainer immediately agreed to his release. And said, "You are free." After that, Martin started going from there. But on the way, Stainer told him that I owe you a favor. Don't ever make the mistake of calling him. Stainer knew that he wouldn't be able to go far, because he had neither money nor papers. In the end, something happened. Outside the camp, Martin had no one to recognize him. That's why he finally went to the girl who used to come to give him flowers in the cell. Isabel was happy to see him again. But her father, Valentine, was a little strict about Martin. He knew what kind of person Martin was. He says that my daughter only sees good in people. But I'm not like that. It didn't take long for Martin to understand that Valentine didn't like him. He said, "Just tell me where to find the next restaurant. I'll go from here." Valentine said, "I have no enmity with you. Isabel wants you to stay here. We have no place for a bouncer here. I can hire you. But know one thing well. If you hurt Isabel in any way, then I won't even think about it before killing you." Martin understood this threat well. But one thing that had been bothering him for many years. Why does Isabel go to give flowers to Stainer every day? Valentine tells him that Stainer had married a local girl here. He loved her very much. But one day he suspected that she was cheating him. And when his daughter was born, he thought she wasn't his daughter. So he left his wife and daughter. Isabel is the same girl that Stainer has refused to accept as his daughter. At that time, I was Stainer's driver. So I adopted her and brought her to my house. She takes flowers for him every day, hoping that one day Stainer will accept that she is his daughter. But Stainer has always rejected her. Valentine gives Martin a place to live in his house, and tells him that here you will have to deal with a lot of alcoholics. If someone behaves wrongly, then explain it to him calmly. But if he doesn't listen, then handle it as it seems right. Martin couldn't go anywhere. That's why he starts working in the bar. Gradually, he became comfortable with Isabel's family. Martin told Valentine that no one has ever helped me as much as you are doing. I am grateful for this. Isabel and Martin also started liking each other. And everything was going well. One night Martin sees two people fighting in the bar. Valentine told him to go and see what was going on. But as soon as Martin went to stop their fight, they both fought with each other. The fight started in the club, and the other people who came with them also joined in it. A man challenges Martin to a fight, but Martin faced them all alone, and he kept hitting them until Valentine shot him and told him to stop. After this, they beat him up. But then the resting knight and his other companions enter the bar. He said that someone beat up our fighter last night. I thought, why not go and meet him? But I didn't think it would be you. The resting knight tells him that the one you beat up last night was Stainer's fighter, and now you will have to fight in his place. Martin refuses him, but the resting knight threatens him to harm Isabel and her bar and leaves. The same night, Martin and Valentine talk to each other. Martin was cursing his fate, and says that I always harm the one I am with. But Valentine encourages him, and says that it is better to fight one last fight than 10 fights. Martin agrees, and the next day he packs his stuff and starts going to Stainer again. He promised Isabel that he would come soon, and left from there. After this, we see Martin in the ring. The first fighter in front of him was the one he beat up last night. Martin just smashes him again in a few punches, and this fight wins. The same night Harrison comes to Valentine's bar, and asks him about Martin. Valentine says that there was such a person here, but now he is gone. Harrison says that Martin is such a dangerous criminal. He had planned bomb attacks in his own country. If he comes back here, tell him that I will meet him in the British embassy. Looking at you, it seems that you can do this job for $10,000. The government has announced the same amount to reward the one who caught Martin. And you yourself know how much $10,000 is in the currency here. You can buy a big bar from it. You can give a better life to your family. Hearing this, Valentine falls in thought. But for Isabel's happiness, he didn't tell anything to Harrison, and told him to go from there. The next day, Martin takes part in another fight. Everyone was betting on Martin, and Martin was winning the fight. Whoever came in front of him could not last long. Seeing this, everyone believed that the bet on Martin would never go in vain. After this, Martin did not fight one, not two, but 7 people that day, and defeated everyone. Steiner came to Martin and gave him his share of the money he had earned from the fight. He told Martin that you are a good fighter. If we were in America, we would have got a lot of money for this skill. But unfortunately, both of us are people who have run away from our country. I was sentenced to death and the British agency is looking for you. Whatever we have, now we just have to work with it. Steiner again offers him to join his gang. But Martin doesn't listen to him and leaves from there. After this, we see Isabel, who once again brought flowers for Steiner. In the next scene, Steiner types something. And then we find out that somewhere Steiner also knows that Isabel is his daughter. But he was not able to accept her in front of everyone. But he writes all this in a letter, and hides it behind his wedding picture. When Martin reached home, Valentine told him that a man came looking for you. He gave me greed for money, but I didn't tell him anything about you. People can do anything for money here. It would be better if you leave from here. He gives Martin his military passport, and tells him to put his picture on it, and go to America or some other safe country. Take Isabel with you. She will be happy with you. Martin was thinking about how to get out of here, but Valentine made him believe that he will find a way for himself. Now Martin liked this plan, but he didn't have money. That's why he goes to Steiner the next day, and tells him to fight for the last time. Steiner tells him that people here spend money on what wins. And you have won so many times that now everyone will spend money on you. So, there's no point in fighting in such a situation. There was only one way to earn money. That he loses the fight, which will be a big loss to the one who spends money on him. And Steiner will get a lot of money. Martin agrees for it. In return, Steiner gives him a lot of money. On the other hand, Valentine is shown, who puts all his money on Martin in the hope of a better life, without knowing that Martin has already decided to lose. The fight begins the next day. In front of Martin, a heavyweight wrestler is brought, who looked much stronger than him. But still, everyone spends money on Martin. In the beginning, Martin fights him equally, but slowly he let go, and stopped his punches somewhere, because of which he loses badly. In the evening, Steiner's people come to Valentine's bar, and tell him that Martin has lost this fight. That's why he will have to vacate the bar tomorrow. Valentine doesn't believe that this can happen. He thought that Martin has cheated him, but Isabel knows that he can't do that. These people have definitely trapped us. She slaps Amarillo in anger, after which they also beat him a lot. When Valentine pulls out his gun, so Rastignac shoots him and Isabel both. Martin came back at night, but he didn't know what happened here. Then Rastignac came out and shot Martin too, when Steiner saw Isabel's body. So he felt a little bad, but he gets over this sorrow soon, because he had no sympathy for anyone. On the other hand, the bodies of the 3 are brought to the forest, and a pit was dug and buried there, although they had no idea that Martin was not dead yet. After a while, it rains heavily, from which the soil flows, and Martin comes out screaming in pain. He also pulled Isabel out, and we see that Isabel's breathing was still going on, but she is badly injured. Soon some locals find them, and help them. They took Isabel with them. But Martin decided to stay there, so that he can take revenge on them. He prepares himself, and a few weeks later, he returns to Valentine's bar, on which someone else had taken over. Some people stopped Martin from going inside, but Martin finished them all and reached the club. Amarillo was also present there, but he was not scared to see him, and said, "Make the best drink for our guest." Martin quietly finishes his drink, and that's when the fight begins. Martin cut someone's head with his blade. Amarillo had never seen him so angry before, after which he ran away from there. He came to Steiner, and told him that Martin is still alive, Knowing this, Steiner did not even have a scratch on his face, because he did not consider him a big threat. Steiner thought he had come here to take all the money. So, he tells Amarillo to hide the money somewhere. Amarillo was very scared, but still he came back and told his people to spread all over. He kept all the money in the bag. That's when Martin came there, and killing everyone, he went to him. Amarillo showed him a lot of money in his hand and said that all this can be ours. But Martin was not greedy for money. He kills Amarillo and goes away with all the money. On the other hand, when Steiner found out about his death, then he gave weapons to all his people and increased the surveillance of the entire area. Everyone was waiting for him at the main gate, but Martin chose the back way instead of attacking directly and quietly entered the camp. There, after killing 2 guards, Martin and Steiner were waiting for Martin, but Martin throws a grenade at the rest of the guards, which causes a lot of damage to Steiner. A grenade fell into Steiner's office, which saved him from dying. Although Steiner was soon on Martin's target, if Martin wanted, he could have killed him in 1 bullet. But he didn't do that, because he didn't want to give Steiner such an easy death. Martin kills everyone and moves on. Steiner's guards spray bullets at him, but Martin comes in front of Steiner while avoiding them. Now both were standing in front of each other, after which Martin and Steiner were waiting for Martin. Then Martin picks up a sword from there, and he pierces the chest of Steiner in 1 blow, because of which he suffocates there. After a while, Boone comes there. When he saw Steiner's corpse, he was filled with anger. Because of Steiner, he used to get good money here, with which he used to feed his family. But now everything was taken away from him. Martin tries to convince Boone that they have no enmity with each other, so it would be better to let him go. But Boone knew that what if he didn't get the money? What if he didn't get the money? He could have lived a good life here. There is a fight in both, in which Boone beats Martin a lot. He picked him up and beat him, and he kept hitting him until he gave up. Martin quickly understands that he can't live like this. Finally, he cleverly took out his gun and shot Boone. Now only Rastignac was left. Martin moved forward, removing each one from the way. Rastignac sends some of his people to kill him, but Martin put them all in place, after which he himself went to kill him. Martin's bullets were over. As soon as he bent down to pick up a rifle, Rastignac put a revolver on him and said, "Stop it now, you can't win." But Martin quickly picked up the rifle and fired at Rastignac, with which both were badly injured. Before Martin could catch him, Rastignac ran away as soon as he got a chance. The bloody finale. Martin gets a letter from Steiner which was half burnt. He took it with him and started going from there. Only then some people come to him. They garlanded Martin and prayed for him because he had freed him from Steiner's atrocities. In this way, the last labor camp of the French army also ends in Vietnam. After the death of his friends, Rastignac was wandering around. He had neither money nor power. When he was in power, the people he had oppressed had now become his biggest enemies. There, Martin leaves that letter for Isabel and goes to find her. When Isabel reads it, a burden comes off her heart. Martin keeps looking for Rastignac for weeks. There were posters all over him. And one day finally Martin found him. He came to Rastignac and put a gun on him. Rastignac says that you won. But now I'm not going to run anymore. Let's have a last fight. Like every time, he takes out his knife this time and attacks Martin. He was strong and fast. But Martin wasn't less either. Both had equal strength. He noticed that Rastignac's legs were very fast. First of all, he had to do something about them. When he got the chance, he attacked his legs, with which Rastignac started limping for a while and became weak. After that, Martin attacks him continuously and drops him down. And then he cuts his stomach with his own knife and takes out his liver. Rastignac was in pain. This is the true savage dog. But Martin didn't show any mercy to him. On the contrary, he started eating his liver, which Rastignac couldn't see, and he died a very painful death. After a while, Harrison comes there. He said that there is a flight to London this evening. I want you to come with me and confess your crimes in the court of England. But I also know that you will kill me before that. So, I have another offer for you. If you want, you can work for me. I have orders from above that I will prepare a team of special people. And I need men like you. If you want, you can be part of this mission. Martin was a killer. He knew that killing is his profession. And he knew that job very well. That's why he met Harrison and both left from there. Friends, with this, Martin's story ends here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Cinemaned for more intense movie breakdowns.